Hello, fifth graders. This video is top secret because we are about to create the Christmas gifts for your families. And I'm going to be showing you step by step how to make them. There's a couple of things we'll have ready for you, but you will receive all your materials. And then there's a step-by-step slide you'll get as well. And you can always go back and rewatch any of the videos I'm showing you. There are a lot of different ways to make this project, but I selected a way that I thought would be easiest for you to create at your house without too much help. So here it goes. It is officially time to create our gnome, and you'll see the first materials that I'm going to use are my cup of rice, which you guys will get your rice in a baggie, but if you can find a cup in your house to transfer it into, it doesn't even have to be a measuring cup. This just makes it a lot easier to do this without making a mess. So you will take your cup, you'll have your white sock, and notice, brand new, spanking clean. You don't have to worry about these coming off my husband's foot. I'll even give it the sniff test. Oh, yes. So you're gonna take your sock and slip it over the cup. And I put a bowl here just to demonstrate if you're doing this in your room, your bedroom, and you wanna keep it private from your parents so that they don't see their gift ahead of time, just make sure that you have something in case you accidentally spill, because you don't want rice kernels all over your floor. Just tip the cup upside down and let it all fall down into the bottom of the sock. When it does, you're basically creating a nice base for your gnome to be able to sit on a table or wherever you plan to display it. And then the next thing we're gonna do, because we wanna add just a little bit more fluff to make our gnome nice and plump, you're gonna take 4 tissues, and I don't want you to put them all in one clump, one at a time. I just want you to wad it up like this, put it down in the sock, reach all the way down in there. It's kind of like if you're making a bear at Build-A-Bear, you're gonna put extra stuffing in to make it just a little bit more fluffy. So we're gonna fluff up our gnome right now. And if you look and you think you don't have the right level of fluffiness, you can find something else in your house to fluff it. But I found that about 4 tissues gives it just the right look. And then just kind of balance it out. You guys, if you bounce it a little bit like this, it will actually make it so it sits nice. The next step you're gonna do is put a rubber band on the top, and you're gonna be sealing off the part of the sock that's filled from the part of the sock that's still loose. And rubber band it, you guys, until it's tight. So this is a bigger rubber band. I'm gonna go around more than one time, because the last thing you want is rice spilling around or your gnome to fall apart. That should be about tight enough. And you'll notice you have extra space up here. I'm just gonna round them out. I like mine nice and round. Ooh, feels good. Welcome back. We are now going to be putting on the beard. And there are a couple different ways you can do this, but if you have glue at home and you know you can use it, you could even use your Elmer's, that's totally fine. If you have permission from your parents to use a hot glue gun, I want you to double check with them first, but I know some of you for 4-H have used hot glue guns more than I've used a hot glue gun. But for today's purposes, I'm gonna first show you one way you could do it with a rubber band where you don't need glue at all, and then I'm going to actually glue my sample because I think that will hold for longer. Okay, so this is the beard, and if you hold it up, you should see somewhat of a triangular format. Mine is by no means perfect, and your fabric will look different. I actually had to mutilate a stuffed animal to get this for the sample because our fabric has not arrived yet. So I'm going to simply take the beard and position it kind of high up on the face. And I know this looks goofy because it looks like a beard would not be at this point on the face. However, our gnomes are not going to have eyes. Their hats are coming down over their eyes. So you're actually going to be bringing it up higher than you normally would. The first method is the rubber band method. And you don't have to worry about seeing the rubber band because it's actually going to be hidden by our gnome's hat. So I don't know if I can talk and rubber band at the same time, but I'm going to try right now. Okay. You can kind of see him coming together right now. I always say him, you guys, because I live in a house full of men and boys, so don't mind young ladies out there. It could be a her too. Who's got a beard that's long and white? Nomi's got a beard that's long and white. It looks like it's sticking on pretty well. I'm also going to show you if you would rather not just do the rubber band method Gently lift it up because he's starting to look real now. Take your glue. My glue is a little bit stronger, but you don't need to have this kind. You can just use Elmer's. Be generous and put it on and fold your beard back down. Give it a little pat. Pat, pat, pat. So soft. Ooh, he's shedding. And you have the start of Mr. Gnome or Mrs. Gnome. Okay, now is the fun part. You're going to notice that you each have a hat for your gnome, and your hat actually came from what was once a lovely Christmas sock. They're going to be hot glued for you already so that they come to a point. So if they feel a little bit hard or crispy at the top, that's because they are now in the shape of a hat. So you're going to take your gnome that you have already and bring him forward, and then you're going to gently work his existing sock up into his hat, just like that, and then you're going to pull it down. Now, if you look and you just feel like you want your hat floppier, there's too much sock on the top, go ahead and take a pair of scissors. This shouldn't be too hard to cut. And the scissors I have here, I think, are actually kitchen scissors, but if your parent has fabric scissors, that would work too. I'm just going to cut off the top part, like where it would go around the person's ankle, and leave this little part there. And I'm going to fold it down just like this. And I think now when I put it on, I'm going to like the way the hat droops a little bit. If you want your hat to be really puffy, you can keep all of that sock in it, but it's your choice. I like my gnomes to have floppy hats though. You're going to put the hat on him or her, and if you want to flop it over a little bit, just work the sock inside so that it does what you want it to do. And you can always readjust it before you do anything else to it, but it's gonna look like that. And then the last part, and you're going to need glue for the last part. Again, if you have hot glue and you have permission to use it, great. If actually, you know what, you guys, I think I want mine even a little bit floppier. So I'm just gonna cut off. This is how I like to do art. I don't always like to follow the directions exactly because it's not as much fun for me, but I like to actually make it pretty when I know I'm giving it to somebody else. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit more off, and remember, hide the evidence. Don't leave this hanging around, or your parents might think you got angry at your socks. So I'm going to dispose of this when I'm finished. Now I'm putting the hat on for hopefully the last time. And oh my goodness, he's looking so adorable. And if you want to flop it over a little bit, you can tell I'm a little picky. There, I like it like that. No, he's ready to go. The last thing that he needs is, oh no, a nose. These are round and they're a little bit heavy. Obviously round, it's a sphere. They're a little bit heavy, so you want to make sure that when you do glue them on, if you're using Elmer's glue, you're going to have to hold it there for a while. If you're using hot glue or even super glue, again, super glue, you guys, can be dangerous if you get it on your fingers. It does not feel good, but with permission, you could probably use that instead. I'm going to use hot glue on this one, and I'm just going to glue his nose on. If you're like me and it's really hard for you to watch and wait, you might want to step away from your gnome at this point. So I'm just going to let him rest and I'll be back. All right, we are back. And the final step, as you probably have guessed by now, is going to involve glue. And again, you guys, if you have any trouble getting or finding glue, just let me know. But I'm pretty sure that I asked all of you to take it home in your supply box. And every hat that I wore when I was a little girl always had like a fuzzy ball on the top. This sock is kind of hard to get the fuzzy ball on there with just one. So I'm actually going to put 3 on there to make it more dimensional. You'll be getting fuzzy balls in your pack too, and you can decide whether or not, if you like your hat just like that, you could leave it ballless, but if you want to add some on there, go right ahead. That's what I'm going to do. And I think I need one more glue stick just to get this secure. And if you have craft supplies at home and you have bigger fuzzies that you want to put on top, I envisioned these a little larger when I ordered them, but they're still cute. They're just smaller than I anticipated. All right, and you might have these stringy things afterwards from the hot glue. No worries there, just pull them off. They're actually kind of fun to pull off. And with regular glue, again, you guys are going to want to make sure that you let it lay down and sit for a little while before you go ahead and stand it up, because then everything will stick a little better. So this is my first time making a gnome. Thank you, Haley, for the inspiration. My gnome JJ is at home right now, or I would show you him. And I think that your parents are going to love, love, love this project for the holidays. He doesn't have a hand, so we'll just go like this. Bye-bye.